Well, there's a new Fox News poll showing Marco Rubio now down at only 20% in his home state of Florida. Fox Business reporting the senator's donors say he should drop out before the Florida election. Former Rudy Giuliani pollster Pete Snyder on if it's for Senator Rubio to pull this thing off. Before I came up to the studio, I did see some report by some polling organization I'm not familiar with that had him in single digits. Is it that kind of stuff, Pete, you think Marco Rubio's holding on to?
I think he's trying to hold on to any glimmer of hope. Look, as a Fox News contributor, of course I believe the Fox News poll much more so than any others. But look, this could easily be in single digits. But the problem for Marco Rubio is if he loses his home state, I mean, it's like the old Boys to Men song. I think it really is the end of the road for him. There's no way. I think it'd be horrible for his brand if he tries to slog in, and there really isn't much a path beyond this for him.
You know what I find interesting also, there are other races next Tuesday, and if Marco Rubio were to get out, if his ultimate objective was to stop Donald Trump, he certainly would help his other rivals in other states besides Florida. And it gets back to the notion that these establishment candidates, it's ego first and nothing else matters.
Well, unfortunately, with a lot of politicians, ego tends to be the number one thing on the list, Charles. You've been around enough of them. You know this. You can smell it a mile away. And, I mean, look at what's happening in Florida. The entire Jeb Bush crew is sitting on the sidelines. They can't wait for Marco Rubio to go down. So this is the kind of vindictiveness. I mean, you look at what Chris Christie did in endorsing Donald Trump. Do you really think that was just because he's in love with the man and his policies? Or did he want to screw over the entire rest of the field? I mean, I think it's the latter.
Yeah, crabs in a barrel syndrome, I guess they call it. Do you know if Marco Rubio's airing ads? I read that last night he's not even airing ads in Florida right now. I mean, certainly that's running up the white flag if that's the case.
Well, only his super PAC is pumping in millions of ads in there. The coffers in the Rubio campaign are relatively thin right now. So, again, not a good sign, a poor leading indicator, if you will.
Pete, what do you make of all the talk or brokered convention? Ultimately, would that help or hurt the party? Listen, it's going through some sort of it's morphing into something that's not completely different, but markedly different than it was before. Some say it's good, that you've got to make this transition, and maybe a brokered convention would be part of that.
Charles, I think a brokered convention would be an absolute disaster for the party. If the party, tried to wrest the nomination away from Donald Trump, and I mean, Donald Trump would love the media coverage of that every second of the day. And do you really think you're going to pull one over on the guy who wrote The Art of the Deal? I mean, he's going to be doing backroom deals left and right, having his plane flying to remote airstrips and courting these delegates for the weeks and months ahead of time. I mean, I think it would be a very bad thing for the party. No matter what, it would come out fractured and probably lose in November.
Well, so where do you see this going then? Because the conventional wisdom holds that if Donald Trump loses either Ohio or Florida, it is inevitable that there will be a consensus/brokered convention.
I think there could be a brokered convention. I think Donald probably pulls out both. I mean, he knows what the stakes are here. We have a lot of miles left on the track as well. And again, I'm not in anyone's camp. I haven't endorsed anyone for president. I think if Donald has the type of night that he did this past Tuesday, next Tuesday, he's going to be coasting to the nomination.
All right. And, of course, no pun when you said he knows what the stakes are. Thanks a lot, Pete. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Charles.
All right. Well, right now.